Okay, it is time for a unboxing. This time, again, from a secret location. I have no decent microphone, just the unbuilt mic. I have no lighting rig, I'm just using natural light from a window. What is coming from that side? And I have a great big box to open. The only other difference is that I'm now using the adapter to directly charge the camera up from the mains. So, let's see how well that works while I open this box. And to open this box, I should really have a knife or a screwdriver or a pair of scissors or something like that. But I have none of that. I just have my keys, my household keys. So I'm going to use these to try if I can get any purchase on it. There we go, to open this up. Oh. And of course I've strategically placed the box, come on, so that you can't see the address. The address details are of course on the other side. Now what could this possibly be? Those of you with a keen eye for detail, just use this to open it up a bit, have probably seen the word hobbies here. You might have also noticed that it said Hornby, so that might give you some idea as well. Nicely packaged so far. We've got plenty of little side packaging to one side there. The box looks nice and secure within the box. Let's just get rid of the bigger one. Anything of interest on the box here? No, just a barcode on one side and that's it. Alright. I should also point out I've got a window open to allow for air circulation, so you might occasionally get noises from outside, like cars driving by. Yeah, a rookie mistake on that part by myself. Somebody who's been doing YouTube for about 2 or 3 years now. I don't get how long. But that's interesting. Look at that. They've got a little bit of cardboard covering everything up. So what could we possibly be looking at? We've got some sort of paperwork here. Let's just take this off to one side. Yeah, this is just basically confirming order, deliveries and whatnot. Trainstop.co.uk. This is their receipt for the stuff I bought off Amazon. Oh. Now, we have not one, not two, not three, but 4 different steam engines. I'll just move back behind the camera to make sure that everything can be seen properly, because I'm just working to the side here. So yes, 4 different steam engines, all of which are the work of Sir Nigel Gresley. I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, but he died in 1941. They're all LNER trains, or engines rather. This is the Cock of the North. This is the Fire Dorsey, which I've never heard of. This is the Osprey, which I've only ever heard of when people have been taking the piss out of Prince Philip. And this is the Whirlwinder. Now, Cock of the North I have heard of, but I don't recall ever having actually physically seen the actual engine before. Just as a quick 101 regarding steam engines and trains and whatnot, these are engines. When it's just the engine by itself, it's an engine. They're not part of a train just yet, because they're not pulling anything other than their own tenders. It's only when they're actually pulling coaches and wagons and whatnot that they are actually properly confirmed as a train. Right now, they're not trains, they're just the engines. So this is an LNER Class A1. This is the A4. The most famous engine in that range is of course the Mallard, which held the speed record for that particular class. In fact, I think it held the speed record for all coal-powered engines of that time. This is another Class A3, which looks very similar to the A1, but there are subtle differences in the bodywork and whatnot, so presumably on the actual proper engine there must have been other internal differences. But you can see they've just basically taken the model, added other details in as appropriate, different water coolant bits, which are actually a bit further back on that, and a bit more detail overall. I think that was basically the newer version of the train altogether, or it might have just been revised. Actually, going off the train numbers 2503, 2554, I would say this was probably the revised, updated version. But then again, you got 4494, so that was obviously later again. And then Class 2P to Class 2 P2. Class P2, cock of the north. Not quite sure what kind of cock they're referring to there, but I suppose with their engines you could make all kind of phallic jokes. So let's just see what's on the back here. Just some design pictures here, some side elevations, top elevation, front and back elevations, some information about Sir Nigel Gresley himself, and some information about the actual engine and its class, and the same is true for all the others. They've all got their own individual designs and whatnot, and so on. Not much else to actually say about the boxes, is there? But the boxes aren't really the interesting thing. It's what's inside that really counts. Ooh, actually this feels a bit different to open up. Yeah, you just slide it open like so. So you could, in theory, just have it on display like that, I suppose. Hornby. No additional information of any sort here. How do you open this up without wrecking the box? I don't think you can. That is a shame, because as a display box in itself, I suppose that's a bit basic but quite nice. From what I can see behind the train, made the mistake there of calling it a train. From what you can see yourself behind the engine, just through the plastic, there's what looks like some nails. So it might have a little bit of railway track just to, just to allow you to stand it on or something before you actually put it on an actual railway set. I don't want to damage the box! I don't want to damage the box! Damn, you won't. Oh, hang on a sec. I think, yes, you can actually lift it out of the box quite directly. That's nice. Okay, so you get to keep the box undamaged. What's all this? Steam locomotive and tenders, DCC ready, DCC fitted, sound operating and maintenance instructions. Okay, so that's the instructions on how to operate the sound boxes they have. Now, when I first got into this many years ago, certainly the engines that I had and the models I had did not have any kind of fancy sound functions built into them. I think that sort of thing was available, but we just didn't get anything like that at the time for me. I guess this is just extra. I thought this was nails or something, or bits of railway track, but it's not. It looks more like it's some sort of additional bits that must be put on later. So, yes, it's stuff to put on at the top of the at the front of the engine's bumpers and whatnot, just to add to the detail. Right, let's get this bad boy out. How do you... Oh, here we go. I've got to give them this. Hornby really know how to pack their engines. What was this bit here? Was this just something to protect the top? Yes, it was. Oh, that is a thing of beauty. Oh, you can feel the weight as well. That is at the front here. The tender is quite light, as you would expect. Something's just dropped off there. But the actual engine itself feels quite heavy. Can you uncouple this at all? No, you can't, but you could unscrew it at some point. The actual front of the engine is protected by this little piece of protective covering, which doesn't want to come off. Come on, there we go. And you can see the face of the engine. Not Thomas or Gordon or anything like that. But the actual face of the engine and how the engine would move around in the tracks a bit. So this is a working train, it's not just some display model. This is all basically a tribute to Sir Nigel Gresley. If you go through Hornby's own website, I think they're currently sold out of this, and this was literally the last one available on Amazon. Amazon was selling them cheaper than Hornby. I would have assumed that since Hornby were the ones making this, they would have been selling them cheaper, but they're not. Amazon, and I think a few other places as well in general, were selling them cheaper. It's not a second-hand unit at all, it's brand spanking new. And it was going for something like only £8 less than what Hornby had been selling it for before they ran out. That bit that dropped off earlier, it's just some sort of protective little bit to keep the tender and the engine away from each other. But yeah, I'm quite impressed in all records. I mean, if I do this, then you can see where the crew would be sitting. Actually, it'll probably be better if I put my arm around the camera like so and angle it like this, and you'll see the inside. Now, because I'm in my secret location, I have absolutely nothing set up to allow me to actually display these properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on this piece of cardboard like so, and I think what I shall do is I shall have a jump cut. I'll just put you there so that you're in display. We'll have a jump cut, I'll put them up, and then I'll put them up. Yeah, I'll put them up onto this cardboard, and I'll, just do that I do so well. Or poorly. Anyhow, jump cut in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. So that's all 4 of them laid out like that. Now you can see straight off the similarities between this train, this engine and this engine. Okay, it's the basic chassis is the same in all regards. The basic model work is the same. It's just that there's differences like the water towers, the detail on the bodies is slightly different. They look for all intentions more or less the same engine, but that's because they are. It's just that one's an upgraded version. One thing that was interesting, the tenders are slightly different in almost all regards. These two have the same basic tender. This one has a completely different design altogether. This one has a very similar design to these two, but there's just certain sections are slightly different in all regards. It's like it's got this railing section here which isn't present on any of the others. Also, for some strange reason, on the back of this tender, the bumpers was loose. Well, it wasn't loose, it wasn't even attached, but it's basically something that should be easily enough reattached, but it does give you a good idea of just how these work. Okay, it's basically a sort of nail-like thing that just sort of rests in housings to allow it to absorb the impact of anything that would crash into it at the back, and the same is true of everything else. They also all come, or at least these 3 did, they all came with spare additional wheel axles. Now, there's instructions in there, I haven't opened them up yet, and then there's all this extra bits and pieces that the instructions for the Cock of the North said you were just supposed to add on. So I'm just going to open this one up. Now, excuse me for using my keys to do so, because I'm not particularly good at opening these bags for some reason with my bare hands. I'll just see what this has to say. So it's basically giving instructions about these tiny little metal things, I think. Yes, they can be. Okay, they appear to be some sort of extra bit to go on some of the steam pistons. I have to take a much closer look here, but it doesn't really go into any real detail as to how to change the axles around. Because the most bizarre thing about these axles, given this one was paired up with this particular engine, they look completely different to anything else. I'm assuming it's supposed to be this section here, but I just can't be sure. I think I shall have to do a little bit of offline research at some point to find out just what I should be expecting. I shall now have to be very careful, very ginger about how I store that in the meantime. They all basically came with these little foamy plastic bits to keep the tender and the engine separate, but not allow them to crush up against each other. Yeah, well, that does it for the unboxing. I shall leave it at that. I'll do some more research and probably do some follow-up reviews. And the next time you see these bad boys, they'll probably be on track on a board somewhere, just going back and forth, just to test out how they could go with. I should point out, they don't come with any kind of controllers. They don't come with any kind of additional track. They just come with all of these little extra bits. Perhaps a little annoying, but then again, when you think about it, this is meant as a, as a set for a dedicated collector who's probably already going to have their own track laid. I'm probably going to have plenty of controllers, because most of the larger sets that do come with spare carriages and an engine and track will have their own controllers as well. and you would just be using that controller for most cases. Whew. Right, I think I've rambled enough. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe and all that usual good stuff. Bye for now.